The Office star's stint as a vengeful vigilante in James Gunn's overlooked CBM is the reason why he should enter the DCU. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Moreover, Wilson's comic book roots extend beyond Super, as he lent his voice for Lex Luthor in The Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen, Batman, Hush, and Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War. Even though the role of Lex is off the table with Nicholas Hoult delivering an enthralling performance, there's definitely room for Wilson's chops in the DCU. Although Rainn Wilson is primarily notable for his stint as Dwight from The Office, fans tend to overlook his chops in the realm of CBM. Super, in addition to being one of the more innovative superhero movies of the 2010s, was one of Wilson's more complex and powerful performances, which doesn't get enough credit. James Gunn's Super, starring Rainn Wilson, marked the former CBM debut as a director and laid the groundwork for the misfit superhero trend that has remained prevalent in his work since then. With Gunn now in charge of an entire cinematic universe, Wilson deserves another shot at the superhero gig, especially with Gunn being open to more tonally distinct projects. Even though Super remains one of Gunn's more polarizing entries to date, given Wilson's blend of comedy and emotional depth, it's about time his chops are put to use in the live-action arena of the DC universe. Super features Wilson in the shoes of Frank Darbo, a down-on-his-luck loser, who turns to crime fighting, not in the traditional way, but in a more unhinged and delusional fashion. But for all his shortcomings, viewers sympathize with Frank's motivations, especially in the face of his wife's relapse, who leaves him as he still opts to do good, even though his approach proves to be dangerous. It also helps that the actor has been a long admirer of Gunn's approach to movies, and for Super, it only took him 22 pages to be sold on the project, via Daily Actor. So if Gunn does showcase interest in casting Wilson for the DCU, there's a good chance the latter will chime in, maybe in the shoes of a more quirky and unconventional figure, which has proven to be Gunn's forte. Whether it's the Guardians trilogy, which is all about outcasts and misfits finding a purpose, or Peacemaker, which further explores the illusion of righteousness at any cost, they all expand on the themes first explored in Super. With time, Gunn has only honed his craft, and had it not been for Super, we might not have witnessed the best trilogy in the MCU, and in extension, the new DCU, which is off to a solid start with Superman. What are your thoughts on Super? Share below. The themes of loneliness and found family, featuring Elliot Page's Libby and Wilson's Frank, or damaged individuals trying to do the right thing, have been apparent in Gunn's other works. James Gunn's Superman crushes the box office with $217 million, proving that superhero fatigue is a myth when storytelling shines. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. For years now, fans and critics have blamed superhero fatigue for the downfall of comic book movies. Over the years, every time a Marvel or DC film underperformed, fans have been quick to blame the superheroes for it, thus coining the term superhero fatigue. But James Gunn never bought into that. With Superman soaring past a jaw-dropping $217 million global box office debut in just 4 days, it's clear that capes aren't cancelled. They were just boring, and Gunn knew it all along. While critics and fans cried superhero fatigue, Gunn clarified in a GQ interview, saying the problem wasn't too many heroes, it was too many mediocre movies. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I think there's, mediocre movie fatigue. I think you can tell stories about anything. If you see the same gangster movie over and over, you're gonna get so bored. But if you see different types of criminals doing different things that are involved in different activities, different levels of morality, different styles, it's not ever gonna get boring. And boy, did Superman prove him right. As the first film in DC Studios' newly revamped Gods and Monsters era, Superman didn't just fly. It blasted through every typical trope and stale formula that was being crammed down our throats by Marvel and DC. And as a result, audiences showed up and enjoyed the film, boosting its box office. This concept of superhero fatigue, in one way, is real because there have been a lot of superhero movies that maybe haven't been up to what they should have been or what the audience wanted. You see the same thing happening across the board with movies in general. That people are not making the movies that need to bring people into the cinemas. And what's the solution for this? Well, James Gunn mentioned that the antidote to declining interest in cinema lies in directors' ability to take risks. When studios pump out copy-paste content with no heart, people naturally stop caring. But give them a well-written, well-acted, emotionally rich film, and suddenly, everyone's back in theaters. It hasn't been happening because people are so afraid of making a mistake. I think we should make a lot more mistakes. And that's exactly what Gunn's recently released movie, Superman, delivered. It wasn't just a punch fest or another origin story with CGI overload. James Gunn gave us a version of Clark Kent that felt human, relatable, and emotionally layered. He built a story that wasn't just about saving the world, it was about identity, hope, and purpose. The co-CEO of DC said it was never about the genre, it was about the quality. In his interview, Gunn confidently explained that audiences don't get bored of superheroes, they get bored of watching the same old story told in the same boring way. He explained how, just like gangster movies or romantic comedies, superhero films need variety. Meanwhile, according to Variety, while Superman's pre-weekend projection predicted the film to earn $120 million domestically, the movie soared past its limits, raking in $122 million during its opening weekend. Additionally, as per THR reports, David Corenswet's movie topped Friday's domestic box office chart with $56 million, becoming the third-best start of 2025. Gunn celebrated the success of Superman on Threads. Within just 4 days of release, Superman brought in a staggering $217 million worldwide against its $225 million budget, and it's still climbing, via the numbers. This isn't just a big win for DC Studios, it's a bold message to Hollywood, urging every director to make good superhero movies in order to attract audiences to the theaters. Now, James Gunn's success proves that the superhero genre isn't dead, it just needed to evolve. Because clearly, when superhero stories are told right, they still have the power to soar. Let us know in the comments what your opinions were about the new Superman movie. I'm incredibly grateful for your enthusiasm and kind words over the past few days. We've had a lot of super in Superman over the years, and I'm happy to have made a movie that focuses on the man part of the equation, a kind person always looking out for those in need. So it seems that James Gunn was right about the superhero fatigue. He not only understood what audiences want, but also delivered it with utmost brilliance. Superman gave audiences something deeper, emotional, and worth paying for. And that's what audiences have been craving for, not more multiverse madness or recycled CGI villains. The Office star's stint as a vengeful vigilante in James Gunn's overlooked CBM is the reason why he should enter the DCU. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Moreover, Wilson's comic book roots extend beyond super, as he lent his voice for Lex Luthor in The Death of Superman, Reign of the Supermen, Batman, Hush, and Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War. Even though